Okay, today we're going to be working with gradients. You're to save this gradient tool warm-up from practice on Blackboard. Go to practice first quarter gradient tool warm-up. You right-click on this, download it to your folder, to your practice folder, and you can title it later. All right. So what we'll be doing is actually be saving this. I'm not going to ask you to print this one out. We're just going to save it and turn it into the turn-in folder. All right, so I have this open now. I've opened the actual PDF. I'm going to select that square, and then the first thing to do is I need to apply the gradient. Okay, so I need to make a gradient. So I go to just the default gradient, and I throw a gradient on there, or I can go to the gradient tool and just select that gradient. And now I'm going to change the end points of the gradient to a different color. Double click on the slider. Alright, and we can choose a purple. That's to the left slider, and now I'm going to double click on the right slider and choose like a yellow. Now I can change this up. I can make it nice and a pure yellow, 100% yellow. For purple, usually I go to 100% magenta and work around with the blue. There we go. And there it is. Okay, next. Apply a radial gradient to the square above, like the example on the right, to highlight on a dark sphere, then make a black shadow with 50% opacity. Now this is easy. You select it, again you apply a gradient. All right, so we're going to make this now a radial gradient. All right, so now we have applied just the regular gradient. That default gradient was the one that we just used before, and we're going to make it radial. All right, now we should have the ability to change things up. I'm going to go back to the tool. Now I'm going to mess around with the tool. The tool here has the purple on the inside. I'm going to double click on this color. I should be able to double click on the color. It's not letting me, so I'll do it over here. It's not letting me. All right, interesting. You can even just switch it around. How about I just do that? You should be able to double click on it. I'm having a little bit of trouble with this. That's okay. Now what I'm doing is I've gotten a highlight, right? I'm going to take the center of that highlight and kind of put it to the right. All right, to have that highlight coming from the upper left-hand corner. Like pretend the light source is coming from over here, so that the brighter part is showing in the upper left, and then the darker part is showing down here. So you kind of have that showing some form or some three-dimensionality. Okay? Now I'm going to actually take this square, copy it. How do I paste in back? Control B. And I'm going to squish it all the way down. Now I should have something. I'm going to now make sure that I have this filled with black. Go to my fill, which is over here, my swatches. If you're having a problem with your swatches or you're not getting this set up, I always go to Essentials Classic. So now I know that my Essentials Classic is like that. Make that fill 100% black, all right? I can move it over with my cursor a little bit, and then I'm going to reduce its opacity. Transparency panel is over here. It's above or right below gradient, and I'm going to reduce its opacity slightly, so it's a little bit more see-through. Okay? We can set it to 50% is what it says on the sheet. I like it. Okay. There you go. You're done. See if you can change those colors correctly. All right, for the last one, this is working with the radial gradient and then moving the focal point of that radius. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my gradient. Hopefully, there you go. Now I can double click on it. Leave that yellow. Double click on the other side. I'm going to make that completely black. Now watch this. Inside of the colors, go to CMYK options. Go to black 100%, yellow 100%, magenta 100%, and cyan 100%. And you'll get a nice rich black. This black I always make sure I save into my swatches because it's a good one. 100% black. All right, I wonder if I can save it into my swatches. It doesn't look like I can, but I will try to do that later. All right, oh, here we go. Does it help me? All right. Anyway, now I'm going to go to my gradient tool. My gradient tool, and I need to move the radius here over to the edge. And then I'm going to squish this down slightly. Alright, usually you have to do it while it's straight, but we'll see what happens here. Squish it down first, and then turn it. And then you should have something that kind of looks like a... It kind of looks like a comet. There we go. And I am done. Once you are finished with this, it's really getting used to that gradient tool. And getting used to the gradient panel. Then you are going to go to save this. Let me just see if I can make this green. Yellow, green. Fantastic, I did it. Alright, File, Save As. I want you to save this as an Adobe Illustrator file. So you're going to save the type as an Illustrator file, change it to your last name, first initial, and then turn into the turn-in folder.